Every game just tonight. Welcome, Eliza Trickster. I'll go ahead and add you as well. So we are now into a blood feudal game between these two teams. Team Grack is whack versus Team Grack's Demise. I've got with me my best man, Ormast, who's going to be duocasting with me tonight. And I am your host, Jake Kelton. We are the Shoutcast guy. Shoutcasting League of Legends games from beginning to end. We've got two great teams here between a lot of members. Got some new players in here. Lucky Friday 13. Shout out to that guy who is new. And I believe that Azrin, I don't think Azrin has played in these games before. Maybe once, so he's still slightly new. And welcome back, Ice Huntress as well. One of the rare to be seen female League of Legends players. So, classic bands starting out. Braum, Evelyn. What do you got to say, Ormast, about these bands?
Braum is actually a good band. He actually is really strong. I made him actually as my score if he's not banned. But if you're watching LCS and a lot of high-ranked games, he's one of the first ones to go. Evelyn, I don't see her banned that often anymore, but she still has really good movability around the map. And what's nice about it is that invisibility, not being able to see her, she can come up behind you and just gank the living daylights out of you. Jax is actually a good ban also. Jax is a great top laner and also a great jungler too. Jax has that counter strike which can get in and out of situations pretty easily.
Maokai, classic ban as well. We saw him in the last game, very strong, or last game banned out because he's so strong and so tanky. One of the reasons why he's so hard to kill is the fact that he has that heal when spells are used around him, and especially late game when so many spells are being shot out. As long as he's auto-attacking somebody, he's going to be getting a lot of health back late game. And then, of course, that Rengar ban, don't want anyone to be able to play him. He is super strong right now, especially within the top lane or jungle. Level 6, it's free kills all the way. So, and what about that Ahri ban? You don't see Ahri bans too often.
No, you don't actually. It depends on who they're playing mid. Ahri against Diana, if they go with Diana mid, Ahri's a good choice to ban. But I haven't seen it before. I haven't seen it in the last 20 games I've played. But Rengar, of course, as you can see from what Snowy has done with Rengar in the Wraith Cup, he was just going to ban the living daylights out of Rengar. So that's a good choice on him. Plus, with Rengar top, he demolishes everybody.
So Gale Trixon starting us off here, hovering over the Diana pick. Not a common pick, but still very powerful. Nope. Making me tie my tongue. Gonna instead grab the Blitzcrank. You may see the Diana come back out though, as Blitzcrank is often a first grab because he can be very contested and very hard to counter. Gotta land those hooks though. No, he is. He switched over to Exhaust, so he will be going that support Blitzcrank. We're gonna get some great hooks this game, hopefully, which always makes the game way more exciting when we've got those hooks flying around.
We got Team Grack's Demise. We have Zarin actually picking Ashe with those slows that she has from auto. With everything that she has a lot of slows and stuns, which especially with their ult, she can actually pretty much destroy any team, which is a great choice against a Blitzcrank. We got them hovering on Morgana right now, actually locked in Morgana right there. Morgana's a great pick with Ashe, especially with her roots and everything else like that. With that wombo combo, it's great to go.
Snowy Devil making a comment that it looks like his Rengar permanently scarred the stream, so he will be forever banned in games. It will be a great game, the first game that Rengar is not banned out because of Snowy Devil playing him. We saw the power of Rengar in the Wraith Cup, which if you missed, to go on to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/thatshoutcastguy, and you can find all of the Wraith Cup games on there for you to watch at your viewing pleasure. And those games got crazy, as the games actually went into all 5 games of the whole last tournament. So Wraith Cup 2014, what a great job. And hopefully our plan is to actually have the Wraith Cup happen again next year. So as these tournaments are progressing and we learn a little bit more on the stream, and we get crazier and crazier with all these guys following, we're going to get a lot more of these games underway, or tournaments underway. We're going to try to do about 4 a season. Every 3 months we're going to have a tournament for you guys. So next one upcoming is the Hallowed Cup Tournament of 2014. Get your team together, get them practicing ready. We're going to have a great time 8 team slots already filling up. We've got about 2 teams, I think, tonight that are going to try to be filling up as well. So it's down to 6 team slots. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity for your team to play. In the meantime, Patchinade picking up the Orianna from the mid lane. Very strong champion, especially with her ultimate late game, just completely moving an entire team and destroying their health, as well as Lucky Friday 13 playing the Warwick jungle. Very powerful jungle. Level 6 suspend, going to be doing a good amount of damage, as well as allow his team to turn and finish them off.
We actually have on team Grack's Demise. We actually have them hovering over Sejuani and Fiora right now. We actually have just smack it. Actually, he's hovering over Fiora right now, and actually Barracks actually hovering over Sejuani. I don't see a lot of Sejuanis lately. Mainly, I just don't see her at all lately. People don't choose her, but she does have good movability in the jungle, especially against the Warwick, especially with her ultimate that stuns anybody that's passed. That's a good choice on that part right there. Actually, OG Mask Make It actually switched over to Akali, which is actually a great choice mid lane.
Sorry, I'm typing to people in the stream. Grack the system on that Nidalee, I believe, will be going in the top lane. Bruiser Nidalee up there. We've seen her play it a little bit in the LCS champion. Despite her changes, going to be crazy up there with that long-range Q. Going to make for some amazing gameplay. And then Siridi on the Caitlyn. Once again, a very safe AD champion, especially when the enemy team... Oh, they did pick the Ashe, so I believe Caitlyn damages Ashe early game, but late game Ashe's critical damage is going to be able to take down Caitlyn with no problem. A little bit of a squishy team. Warwick really the main front line. Going to have to rely heavily on the Grack the System spears and Gale Trix's Blitzcrank hooks.
And you have Yuwent to Jared on Karma, which actually looks like she's going top with that. It could be mid, but we don't know yet. Well, we actually got Akali teleport, so that's most likely in top. We got Karma mid, who's actually a great choice against that Orianna. The main reason why is she actually has her ultimate ready to go at any given time, and she also has her slows and her roots also. So that's a great choice on Yuwent to Jared.
Okay, so while we're still in the mode of time ticking down, which do you think, prediction-wise, which team do you feel will take the win?
On this one right here, I'm going to go with Grack's Demise. They have a tankier team on them right there. We have Sejuani, which is a really good tank. We also have Akali who has that invisibility, which is actually helped make it so Warwick and actually can't jump in on her and actually get her root on the ground. And you also got that Morgana who does a ton of damage late game. So I would have to give it a Grack's Demise tonight. What do you think tonight, Jake?
Personally, I like your theory, but I feel that Galetrix and the Grack the System are going to get some really good pulls and knockups. They have a bit of CC with the Orianna as well as that knockup from Blitzcrank, and I'm feeling it from Grack the System's team that they're going to pull it into a win. I believe they won the last game, and so I'm going to hopefully see that they do it this game. Frontline Warwick going to stop somebody from doing anything. That person's going to instantly go down. Blitzcrank's going to hook a second person, knock him in the air, finish him off. It's going to be a great game, and I'm going to give it over to Grack is Whack team.
That's actually really good. I didn't think of that. But the main thing is also if Morgana gets her shield off, that cancels out Blitzcrank's pull, so that could be a really good key feature on Team Grack's Demise. Now last game, Grack the System was on Team Grack-a-Lacken. Unfortunately they lost, but Grack the System did a really good job.
Indeed. So I'm going to run through everyone and their champions real fast here. We've got Galetrix playing the Blitzcrank support in that bottom lane. Patchinator on the Orianna mid lane. Lucky Friday 13, new player coming in. Warwick in the jungle. Grack the System, the main man of the night. In the top lane, Nidalee. And then Siridi on the bottom lane, AD Caitlyn, as beautiful as she always is.
And Grack's Demise, we have Azrin as Ashe. We have Ice Huntress as Morgana with those stuns and roots and helping out that Ashe. We also got OG Make It, who's actually top with Akali. We have Team Braxis, who's actually going to be jungle. We have Yuwent to Jared, fancy name, as Karma mid.
Indeed, and I'm really excited to see Ice Huntress's gameplay because it's always fun to have a female being playing League of Legends. If I ever learn that Ice Huntress is not a female, I'm just going to ignore that completely and pretend that I didn't hear it because I want to believe it. I'm going to believe it regardless of the situation. So, and I will say that your Excel file is coming in hugely handy. I'm actually finishing jumping around here to grab all of the different names of the champions, which is a great, just does a great job of allowing me to see these champions' abilities. It makes the stream just so much better. I mean, things like you never thought that Warwick's ultimate is called Infinite Durus. Like, who would have thought that?
I have no idea, but that's what it is.
We got some chats in the some chat people saying Ice Huntress is a good Morgana, should have banned her out. We'll see how well those Morgana's dark bindings keep the enemy in place. So,
Ooh, Jake, just so you know, she is a girl.
well, Lucky Friday is a girl, so we've got 2 females in this game, Warwick and Ice Huntress.
This is gonna be amazing.
Double females. Who would have thought that
Oh
single
my
stream
God.
we got 2 females?
I'm freaking out over here.
Show us your titties. No, don't worry about that. So, a lot of chat going back and forth between Siridi and Snowy talking about their computers. My computer is as old as crap can be, but for some reason it still works really well, and it works. So I'm not complaining. You can ask me, what is your computer made up of, and I will say, it's black, and it has a Turtle Beach sticker on the side, but that's because of my headphones, not because there's anything in the computer that's Turtle Beach. It has some blue lights. It's cool.
Very fancy, very fancy.
I know. And then best of it all, it has toothless on the top. You can't beat a toothless. I mean, I bought this at $10 for Target, and the lady checking me out is like, "Oh, that's so cute. Is that for your kid?" And I'm like, "No, it's for me. I don't even have a kid. It's for me." You kidding me?
All right, you guys. I'm gonna be right back because my throat is dry. I'm gonna go grab a drink real fast. But I'll be right back.
All right,
guys.
while he's doing that, I'm going to go through all these beautiful skins. Riot Blitzcrank, Galetrix coming out with that great skin for the Blitzcrank. Don't even have it myself. TPA, Orianna, beautiful in the mid lane. Headhunter, Nidalee, gotta have that skin for the Nidalee. Doesn't hurt as well. Got that one myself. Arctic Warfare, Caitlyn. I have every Caitlyn skin, and I'm so proud of it. But great skin as well. Very rare skin to see in these games. We've got Heart. Well, I can't even see because the Skype thing's in the way. Heartseeker Ashe, that's it. Heartseeker Ashe, whoop, Nurse Akali, Ghost Bride Morgana, and Dark Ice Sejuani. I actually forget what that one is. And Traditional Karma. I had to run through everyone real fast because we were we're already in game. We're just jumping right into it. So that's why I was kind of running through everybody. There we go. Team names up now for everyone to see as we get into the game. My main man, Ormas, is currently missing a little bit because he is out AFK at the moment, getting himself a drink of water. But in the meantime, we're still cool. Zero just chatting too much in the chat, so he's not on here. There he goes, buying up those items. Welcome back, Ormast. As we move everyone to their correct positions, we've got in this bottom lane the Morgana versus the Blitzcrank. 80s, Ashe and Caitlyn. Mid laners are going to be Orianna versus the Akali. Junglers, Sejuani and Warwick. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's Akali in the top lane. Karma in the mid lane. Nidalee and Akali in the top lane against each other. So, what do you think about which lane is going to be a good lane to focus on? Where do you think the most action is going to happen?
The most action is actually top lane with Akali and Nidalee. It's actually a really great game. I've seen in other games, especially with Akali is actually invisible, and also Nidalee's spear does a lot of damage, so if Akali doesn't jump away from it in time, it's a lot of damage taken off from her. So I'm going to be watching top lane very closely this match.
Yeah,
What do you think about it, Jake?
Akali is definitely a character to watch. I think, though, that it's going to be mid lane is really where the game's going to be defined. Because, once again, Orianna just has so much potential late game to really just destroy the enemy team. A lot of members of Purple Team are rather squishy. Grack's Demise, they're just going to just get destroyed by a perfect Orianna ultimate. If she can throw that onto Warwick as he ults in, she can take out the enemy team almost single-handedly. However, Karma is so powerful this current season that if she gets rolling, gets steamrolling, she's going to be doing so much damage that Q is just going to be taking chunks out of the enemy team. They really have the opportunity for a lot of poke, and that could win them the game. So I think that the defining lane will be this mid lane as these two go head to head. We do see, yes, OGS make it in the top lane versus Grack System. That is the blood feud match. That's what we were looking for. Those two up there. Never mind, forget everything I said about the mid lane. We're going to be focusing on this top lane as the blood match starts between these two. You went to Jared getting lots of damage onto Pachiner in the mid lane, though. The heal and the ignite as well. Pachiner may live through it, but another last auto attack from you went to Jared, finishing her off. Orianna does not have the cooldowns yet, as well as only level 2, did not have the shield available for her. Actually, she was still level 1, didn't even have anything else in that mid lane, and so went down to Karma single-handedly, and now Karma's level 3.
We actually have top lane with Akali and Nidalee. Nidalee's actually keeping Akali off with their spear and doing a lot of damage on there. We also got bot lane. If you actually look at Crowd, he's actually pretty low on health. Now, if that Blitzcrank gets a good hook on the Ashe, they're done for. So it's going to be really good to watch down here on the bottom.
I think Geltrix actually walked away. Well, actually, Grack the system in the top lane. There's the Ignite. Will OGS make it go down first in the top lane? He's trying to recall, but the Ignite would be enough. However, he was standing right in the way of that spear, though I think actually a minion might have walked in the way of that just in time. So that would have been pretty funny if the spear had actually hit a minion. But Grack system on the Nidalee in the top lane, grabbing up the first kill of, I'm sure, many to come. There's Akali with the teleport. Might be coming back for blood.
We actually have bot lane just farming up, making sure they keep each other off the minions to actually get those last hits that's needed by those ADCs. As you can see, Morgana's making sure she puts that shield over Ashe, so Blitzcrank can't land his rocket punch on her, well, the rocket grab on her to pull her down towards him.
Indeed, that spell shield going to be a huge thing. It will also stop, actually I believe, yeah, it is. It will stop his power fist from knocking her in the air as well. So one really good play spell shield could mean death for Ashe. However, if Team Grack is whack actually baits out that spell shield, then they have free reign of all of Blitzcrank CC to be able to finish off the Ashe if they land that rocket grab. 1 kills to 1, tied up on gold. This game is start off crazy. Only 5 minutes in. Kills already. OGS make it. And that top lane, Grack the system jumping onto OGS make it, knocking health back down to a quarter health up there. Does have 2 more potions. However, Braxis in that bottom lane, the spell binding onto Geltrix. That Blitzcrank is going to go down fast with the knockback from Sejuani. Red buff as well in tow. And then last but not least, the beautiful dark binding from Morgana.
You have Akali up top that's actually really low health right now. Now, if Nidalee lands a good spear on her, that's going to take her down below a quarter of health and actually end her off. They play it right up top. You also have Sejuani come back from, and that's a good snare on Morgana right there. And actually ending it with actually Morgana getting the kill on that one due to her pull underneath him.
Yes, that excuse me, I had it just for a second there. Tormented Soil underneath Zero on the Caitlyn finished off the kill. However, very fun to see that Sejuani, 2 laps, perfect repetition of what happened with the Blitzcrank. Morgana got a great dark binding off when they weren't really expecting it. Sejuani came from behind them, knocked them into the rest of the team. Here she comes in the mid lane. This is her 3rd gank, and we're only 5 minutes in. Pachiner actually using a flash to leap out of that, only down to half health there. However, neither member of Grack is whack in that bottom lane, putting a word in the tri-bush. So Grack doing well in the top lane. However, his team suffering pretty hard as Sejuani's ganks just continue to wreck the team from across the map.
And that's actually a really good thing on Sejuani, since she does have that mobility to get around. Also, the stuns and slows makes her a good choice with this team. That's actually one of the main reasons why I gave it to Grack's Demise on that one, because this is Sejuani. And as you can see, she's been helping a lot. Ganking bot twice in a row, going in helping out. So if you watch her closely, she's going to be a very viable person in this match later on.
I completely agree. However, we'll see if Grack is whack can come back in this game, as the game is not over just yet. Only down a couple hundred gold here. Lucky Friday coming in the mid lane, just sharing farm with Pachiner, saying, hey, can I hang out with you for a minute? You smell good. So, C9 Faker, say, oh. Welcome again, Faker. Good to have you join us once again for the Shoutcast. I've got my main man, Ormast, jumping in, doing a duo queue. Pachinator getting a little bit of damage in the mid lane. You went to Jared. We've got Lucky Friday only on level 5 at the moment. Doesn't have his level 6 yet. Really needs to grab that to be critical in ganks, since he can jump across the map and finish somebody off, or hold them in place for an ally to finish them off.
Exactly. If it was level 6 on that jump could actually help them out right there, especially with Orianna's ult just pretty much destroying Karma in the mid. So it's going to be super exciting once Warwick actually gets his ultimate and starts playing right there. So they're actually he's going to let Orianna take that blue, which she's actually going to need a lot against this Karma mid.
Yeah, she's already down 1 kill. She does have the chalice, so she can already spam some of her abilities, but the blue buff will very much help as well. Though it's actually really good from Lucky Friday to be able to be on or just on par with that blue buff. You saw him, he was actually standing there waiting for it to show up, knowing that it would be there in a couple of seconds, and Orianna walked over. However, blue buff went over also to you, went to Jarrett in the mid lane, so both of these APs in the mid lane will have that blue buff to spam their abilities.
It's going to be great in mid lane. Now, there's not really much going on bot lane right now. They're just keeping their farm up, trying to get all that they can for that CS and get the first items. We have Karma actually pushing on Orianna right now and actually taking down below half health right there. And as you can see, Karma still is pretty much full health. Now, if Warwick actually comes from the side and actually lends a good ult, Karma could actually go down for the count.
Yeah, we can see there Warwick making his way, and I think he did ult. However, why are we focused on Blitzcrank in the bottom lane? He is very low health, flashing off to the side. We're going to go back to the mid lane, though, and focus Pachner, being taken very low health, is down only to about half health there as OGS make it actually teleported into the tower. Now, Nidalee is pushing that top lane, however, that would be the death. Look at the beautiful shield, though, Pachner being able to walk out just out of the way. Gonna go down, though, the shield finishing off as that Q from OGS make it gonna finish her off. And now Lucky Friday trying to walk out. However, purple team actually jumping underneath the tower, deciding not to chase, though. Brax is making his way back out of that mid lane, or of the jungle. Oh, in the bottom lane.
Nice.
Yes, how about that?
Play on bottom lane. Actually, Morgana got that stun on it, and then actually Ashe launched her ult into actually making sure they kill off that Blitzcrank pretty quickly. Now, with that instead, they actually used her E to actually spread out the arrows, actually hit that Caitlyn also to actually get the double kill on that one.
Got it. So Caitlyn was very low health, and with a great, I believe it was that Morgana ultimate, because she used that, the Soul Shackles, getting off a stun onto the Blitzcrank with the help of Ashe as well. That is the power of an Ashe Morgana. Ashe can use her ultimate to hold somebody in place long enough for the Morgana ultimate to finish off, and then just poking the rest of the way down will be the end of it. So Grack's Demise looking strong, 6 kills to 1, 2,000 gold in the lead this early. However, they did lose that top lane tower. Nidalee, while all this fighting was going on in the mid lane and bottom lane, Nidalee did take that top lane tower, so now she's going to have a little bit of ability to roam. She doesn't have teleport, however, so she's going to have to run everywhere across the map to be able to make it to some of these fights.
You also see that Nidalee up top actually has more farm than Akali, which is actually really good for us. Since Akali did start roaming to use that teleport to actually help out mid, it gave Nidalee the free roam up top to get the CS that they actually need to take ahead of Akali up top. We have the spell shit on Morgana to make sure that she doesn't get pulled from Blitzcrank's rocket grab.
However, again, if she puts that spell shield on herself, that means it's not on Ashe. A little bit of damage back and forth between these mid laners. Pachinator being taken down to half health, but returning the favor onto you and Jared. Just throwing that ball back, saying, hey, I heard you like spiky balls.
Now, if you look at the items that people are building right now, you actually have... We have Ashe with the BF sword and the pickaxe, when we have Caitlyn with just the pickaxe. That actually can get Ashe ahead pretty quickly. But if Blitzcrank still lands that rocket grab, it can actually mean a pretty devastating part for Ashe herself.
Right, if Ashe does have all that CC land on her. However, that is a little bit dangerous now in that bottom lane, though, because Ashe is doing so well. 86 farm to the 53 on Caitlyn. If Blitzcrank does grab Ashe and Ashe isn't immediately removed, the damage that Ashe can put out might be enough to finish off either member of blue team. That's the problem when you have a Blitzcrank, is that now that the enemy team is doing so much better than you, you're not really going to have too much of an option to pull. Like, you really don't want to pull, because if you pull Morgana, she can just use her ultimate, Soul Shackles, to hold you in place. If you pull the Ashe, she might just straight up kill you with auto attacks because she has so much damage. So now in that bottom lane, the Blitzcrank, feeling a little bit useless, may decide to start roaming instead to see if he can help out other lanes and just let Caitlyn farm from a distance. Warwick did start Dragon, I believe. He is doing it by himself, though. Needs the help. Blitzcrank just backed off, saying, I'm not interested in helping you out, Warwick. Warwick, you got this. Solo Dragon, Warwick, you can do it. Trading back and forth in the mid lane. Nidalee decided to join. She's farming, or sorry, she's roaming. That's what I meant. As Pachinator on the Orianna gets a beautiful shockwave, finishing off the Karma. Is actually Nidalee that picked that up. And hey, Warwick did solo Dragon. Only 200 health left. He survived the Dragon. He is the Dragon Master. And finished it off solo, killing it. Blitzcrank. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they should have Orianna and Nidalee taking down that mid tower right now. It's actually getting the leads, so they're actually purple team Well, blue team actually, they have 2 turrets down compared to actually Grack's Demise. So that's actually helped them out in the long run. We're gonna try and actually land her snare right there, but barely misses Blitzcrank as he just stops it dead in tracks to make sure that didn't hit him.
Yeah, I'm still laughing about that Warwick finishing off Dragon. The Dragon Master. Blitzcrank was like, "Yeah, Warwick, you got this." Lots of damage onto Grack's system. However, did a beautiful. You see that healed as turning into cat form and leapt away. That is some great skill play up there. Fast fingers, being able to utilize all of Nidalee's abilities. Is gonna just back off, but does not have teleports. They're gonna have to cat form jump all the way back up to that top lane, but not too much of a problem. Nidalee all over this map. We're going to see, though, if Nidalee picks up those mobility boots, as she so often does, because they can be so critical in getting her around the map. No one picking up mobility boots just yet. I really want to see how mobility boots affect these games in the future, because so many people are picking them up now.
Yes, and if they get the mobility boots with Warwick, he can actually get around the map pretty fast and actually do a lot of damage with all of his teammates. So that's actually a really good thing. If he gets them, it's going to be a deadly combination with Warwick and actually Nidalee if they both have that.
We'll see if Sejuani decides to pick them up as well, or goes more of the tanky route, picking up the Merc Treads instead, deciding to really go tank. The flash from Grack to system leaping in, can't see OG. Teleporting, though, that is going to give vision for just a second, but oh no, I think Grack to system just used that cat hook, and so couldn't see the Akali, and Akali just made it out, just teleported out, said, "Screw you, I'm not fighting up here, I'm leaving."
We have Ashe actually got her Infinity Edge compared to the Caitlyn right there. So as you can see, Ashe has the higher damage right now. But, like I've said before, if Blitzcrank lands that hook without the Morgana shield on her, it can go badly either way. But Morgana's actually pushing up trying to get that Blitzcrank with actually the shield going on. You actually have a Akali that's actually coming down the bottom and actually trying to get that Blitzcrank. Ashe with the ult right in. That actually got Akali the kill right there, and Morgana put the spell shield over Akali to make sure that nothing happened to her with Blitz's ult.
Yeah, Blitz used the ultimate to try to silence Morgana just to see if he could stop her as Akali came in from the backline once again, running in before blue team really had a chance to respond. However, a beautiful ult from Ashe spelled the demise of Blitzcrank. Akali picking that one up. Something to note for sure is your use of actually, since you like to say that word literally every other word. Like, you're actually, but it's so funny. Braxton was down to about half health here. Grack's system leaping in, but that's going to be a great Sejuani ultimate, freezing her for a second. The shield from Orianna keeping her alive, as well as the heals trying to save her, and she is going to make it out. Sejuani as well with their life. Great fight up there right by that second tower purple team. However, neither member of those teams going down. 7 kills to 2. Grack's Demise in the lead, but not over just yet, as the blue team is actually just barely down in gold. Blitzcrank going down once again in that bottom lane. Ashe with just way too much damage. Caitlyn still sitting down there, though. If you actually switch over to the gold, she's at 2,000 gold. She hasn't backed in quite a while, so that's at least a BF sword, big friendly sword, going to be in her inventory the next time that she backs. However, she's decided to stick around and farm. That 90 caliber net doing wonders to keep her in the safety of the back line.
She's just sitting down on the bottom lane, making sure that nothing happens, that turret's not pushed, which is a good idea for her on that part, which actually keeps Ashe and Morgana off the turret from actually taking that from them. Now actually you see her back, and see, there's my actually right there for you. It's gonna come out the whole night for you.
Apparently, though, what Snowy Devil or Zero mentioned was that I say however. So your word of the night is actually, and my word of the night is however. However. Actually, however, I was gonna say that. That's hilarious. Galetrax in this bottom lane has actually been killed twice now, getting a nice pull on to Azenry, though. However, another Soul Shackles from Morgana will spell the death of the Blitzcrank in there once again. Now 0-5, having a really, really tough time staying alive down there. Has built a little bit tank. However, in the mid lane, there's that. However, Braxton is coming in, patching and taking very low health, down to a quarter health, as 3 members of Purple Team are trying desperately to kill her. And finally, OGS make it. Finishes her off there in the mid lane. So that Morgana stayed alive, though, for a really long time, despite the Sejuani and Karma both being on her, and it took the Akali coming in as well to finish off the kill. So that is very scary, though, for Team Grack's Demise, because if it takes that much to finish off the Orianna, it's going to be harder and harder late game.
Yes, it will be. You actually see Nidalee and Warwick coming mid to actually take out that Karma but she actually uses her speed boost to actually get away from it, so Warwick can't use his ult to jump in on her. You see Akali pushing top and just make sure she picks up that farm with the extra gold she needs to get her items to make sure she lasts a little bit longer and sustainably with that high output damage she's been doing all game long.
Warwick really having a tough time this game. He is straight 0 across the board. However, there's that however. He tried to gank a number of times in the bottom lane, but was unsuccessful with the great warding from Morgana having that sight stone. She's going to get a nice dark binding though onto Galetrix, and that should be the death of Blitzcrank once again. Got the silence, but the teleport from Akali all the way down into the bottom. She's going to pick up another kill. This team doing a great job of making sure that Akali starts to get snowballing. Jumping in onto Zero D, going to get good damage. Zero D throwing out that pill over Peacemaker, not going to be enough because it just didn't hit. OGS Maker walking away from that one in the bottom lane. There's Warwick making his way down there. Again, he hasn't used his ultimate very often because he just can't find the right times to be in the right places to finish off any kills or even use his ultimate. He's down here once again in the bottom lane, but I think the last couple of times he's been down here, he's just walked away. As Grack now gets ganked in the top lane, you went to Jared and Braximus on. Will the Nidalee go down though, trying to escape? There's another leap. Will it be enough? Braxis has a lot of slows. However, the minions might save her. She runs straight through the minions. The flash from you into Jared. Gonna get the slow and the stun. Braximus finishing off Grack to system. That Nidalee chase of 2014 finishing off.
Now you actually see Warwick actually went with the ninja tabbies. He didn't go with the boots of mobility. It was actually a good choice on him right there, especially with the Ashe damage he's been putting out. That's gonna help him out a little bit more. But the boots of mobility, he'll be actually be able to get in this play and actually be able to use that ultimate that he needs to land on somebody for them to actually turn this game around.
So I guess he decided that since his team was a little bit on the losing end, he was going to go for more of the tank route and see if that would help out more than more than slowing. Galetrix once again being caught out in the bottom lane. Dual ultimates gets the pull onto Ashe, but not going to be enough. Azarin just walking away from that one in the bottom lane. Galetrix saying, I don't really support so well. It is true. We all got to learn different abilities, so.
Exactly. And you can actually see that right now, Team Grack's Demise is 3,000 ahead of Team Grack is Whack.
But only 3,000 despite being 11 kills ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, that is absolutely fine. You got a good point across on that one. Actually, purple teams right now is taking Dragon and they actually get it because Sejuani using that smite that she has. Now you can actually see, if they play this right, they can actually take out Orianna pretty easily across this corner. You see Akali flash over the corner, and then Orianna going, using that heal to actually get that speed boost and actually the shield to protect her.
Yeah, using a beautiful ultimate as well, holding her in place for Ashe to get that ace of the hole across the map. Blue team now turning into Ice Hunter. She's got the spell shield. Will it be enough though to keep her alive? I don't think so, with 4 members of blue team all surrounding her. Lucky Friday picking up that kill. However, with that Morgana running away towards blue team's map, it actually saved Karma as it pulled attention away from the Karma who was running away. But that's 3 kills for Dragon. About even. I think that's actually a little bit in the favor of Grack is Whack, especially with 3 kills on the Akali going down. Huge player to be able to kill. I think they got a shutdown on her as well because I think she was 4-1 before, so she would have had at least 1 killing spree, so that would have been a shutdown.
Now they haven't shut down Ashe yet. Ashe is still 4-0. So if she keeps on pushing like she has been and not die, she's going to be a very dangerous person to take care of later on in the game. You actually see Nidalee and Karma fighting over that red buff, and Karma gets it, but you actually see Akali take it from right there with the Karma helping out.
Yeah, OGS make it picking up red buff off of that, clearing a ward. They've got that pink ward right there, so they're going to have lots of vision. Pachoneer saw OGS make it running down there, using that ball to maximum usage. 1 and 3, she's got that chalice, so she's going to have a lot of the mana regen, the Unholy Grail. Athena's Unholy Grail. However, doesn't have a whole lot of ability power. That's why I'm actually clicking over, sitting at 2,500 gold. So next time she backs, going to have a lot of damage. Neoxy Lardra being picked up both by the Karma and Morgana, so both of them going a little bit more power out, as I think Morgana is starting to work on her Zanyas.
We actually have Team Grack's Demise pushing mid tower right there, making sure she gets it. We have Akali jumping in on Orianna and that shield. You actually see Warwick actually with his ult jumping in on Akali, making sure it stops the right in track. But actually, Warwick gets taken taken out by Morgana there with the base cutout tech, and Ash taking out Orianna, and Sejuani in with the ultimate, stopping that Nidalee.
Yeah, Nidalee got the system turning onto Abraxamus as Galetrix coming in, just trying to get a knockup. Got the system now leaping onto the Ashe. Massive damage. Akali from the sidelines, though, might be enough to finish her off. Ace in the hole from Caitlyn, not going to land, though, because that Nidalee did still go down. Or, sorry, the Ashe did go down. Now Caitlyn's off to the side. Akali leaping in. A lot of damage back and forth between these two. There's the heal from Zero as he's trying to run away. Puts on a trap, so it is going to trap the Akali, but not going to be enough to take him out, as Sejuani with the tank going to be there. And in the meantime, there's that top lane. You went to Jared, Karma pushing, finishing off yet another tower. So kills back and forth across the map completely. Warwick using his ultimate to very nice usage, and Orianna with a great ult as well. However, deaths back and forth, still pushing a little bit in the favor of Grack's Demise. Now 18 kills to 7, about 6k gold in the lead.
Actually in lead with 1 tower over teams. Grack is whack. Now that ultimate right there with Warwick actually was a really good one, but it didn't get the chance to kill that Akali due to the fact that with that shield from that Karma, that actually helped her out survive that one right there. We have Ashe and Morgana still pushing bottom and actually getting that asset farm right now. We have Karma taking a blue buff, so that way she can actually have that mana she needs and that abilities right there to be able to constantly spam them.
Yep, Braximus just farming the white. That's how you say it, the white. It's the white one to kill. Oh, just make it. Just standing off to the side. I think she was typing to her team. It's always fun when you catch a member typing to the team, because you're like, they're just standing. They could be farming. They could be doing anything. But, oh, they're talking to their teammates. That's what they're doing. Typing takes time. And since a lot of these teams are just kind of pieced together, they don't have Skype or anything together. So, Dark Binding onto Pachinier. Just going to use the shield to keep herself. I think she just kept herself full health. Maybe gone down just a hair. But, didn't have a problem with that. Dragon should be up. Still a minute 30 left on it, but Purple Team decided they're going to go ahead and grab some of these wards, keep some vision down there. Another beautiful Dark Binding from Ice Huntress. Always on top of these Dark Bindings. Just huge. Friday, Lucky Friday being taken down to about half health, but as Warwick just going to walk out of that one.
As you both teams are starting to group more often now, making sure they actually, if they land these abilities, if Blitzcrank lands a pull on an Ashe, an Akali, or Karma, it can actually mean the end for Grack's Demise, because that team combination, as you said earlier, can actually get them in the lead. But you see that Caitlyn's still bottom, so it can actually go either way. But both teams are spreading out right now to make sure they get their lanes covered.
Uh-oh, Zero might be caught in this bottom lane. Gonna be found out. Azer and Ice Huntress, though, right there. Gonna finish her off. They saw that she was pushing that bottom lane. All they needed was a ward, though, to get the kill, and that was enough. Caitlyn saying, I missed the flash. R.I.P. I like it, though, when some people know that they're dead and they just do a little bit of a dance or just type into the chat, you know, all chat rip, because it's like, there's no way for me to escape unless you guys do some crazy things. There was a fight really quick that I saw that was hilarious. Nasus was standing right next to somebody that had extremely low health, and so the guy was just, I think it was a Zed, or not a Zed, because he had escape. Who was it? It was somebody. And so the other guy was just dancing, so Nasus started to like dance next to him, and the other guy's like, oh wait, I've got a chance to escape, and starts to walk away, and as soon as he starts to walk away, Nasus just like cues and kills him. And it's like, I'll dance next to you, and fuck you, no, you're not walking away. I'm gonna pimp Kane too strong. But Dragon is up. Purple Team looks like they're making their way over there, so we'll see if Grack is whack decides to contest this one.
You see that Nidalee just sitting around the outside of it, making sure that she throws those spears in. Both the high output damage of that Ashe, they're gonna take it right now. And Sejuani comes with the smite to make sure they secure that dragon.
Yep, Caitlyn not going to be able to steal it, so that is going to be a Dragon. I think the second game of the Dragon going over to Purple Team. However, Ashe missed her ultimate. That's a great ability to use. There's that ultimate from Blitzcrank, not going to land on too many people. Orianna pulling in 4 members, however, tucking them all right next to Lucky Friday, which spells the death of the Warwick. Only Nidalee and Caitlyn up left. Caitlyn ace in the hole coming in, getting lots of damage onto, Akali as she walks away from that one. Fart. Caitlyn deciding to just run back to her tower. Not going to hold this bottom tower, knowing that with 4 members of Purple Team, not going to be able to hold that solo, though she did go back out there to the tower. I guess she's going to try to hold it against 3 members of purple team.
She's gonna try.
Morgana still has the Zhonya's up.
We actually have Blitzcrank up right now. We have Orianna coming up and Warwick coming up. Now, Nidalee's coming up in 2 seconds, so that's going to help them out right there. But they're going to be able to take that bottom turret and return back to base.
Yeah, Caitlyn decided that I'm going to stand next to this tower just to be like, you can't take it. But then when 3 of them showed up strong, she was like, well, maybe I'll back off from that one. I'll let it go. So, of course it's me, Briar. You say that every single time you come into the stream. He's always like, oh shit, it's Jake. Every time, like every time I'm on League, every time I'm on anything, he's like, oh shit. It's hilarious.
One of the things you see with Ashe right now, she's 8-1. One of the things that you're gonna notice is she has an Infinity Edge, a Phantom Dancer, and a Static Shiv with boots of speed. She has a high speed output and also some critical damage. But you have on the other side, you have that Caitlyn just right now with the Infinity Edge, boots of speeds, and she has the Zeal. That's gonna give her a little bit of speed, but Ashe has that advantage on her right now.
Passionate getting, sorry, I was just gonna say, Passionate getting a nice flash jumping away from the Sejuani, because that might have spelled death, especially with Karma there. As Grack the system now in that top lane, gonna get some damage onto OGS Make It, who is trying to gank. Lucky Friday though there to help out, and Grack the system taking down OGS Make It once again in that top lane. Don't forget, this is a blood feud between Grack the system and OGS Make It. They are all about each other. Sejuani coming in, getting a nice stun with her ultimate as Karma comes in from the back line. Grack the system making her way out. Lucky Friday is pretty tanky though. Will he be able to make it out as he continues to get slowed? Decides instead to fight it, turning on Braxos, using that auto attack ability to continue to heal himself as he has all that natural built-in lifesteal. Cactus System continuing to just kite both of these members out. You went to Jared now, trying to get the last bit of damage to finish off Lucky Friday with that Ignite. Should be able to do so, and now Patchinator here is to see if he can turn it around.
Yeah, Karma flashed out to get out of harm's way from that Nidalee and that Orianna. Now, they need a Sejuani's backing up. We have a teleport in from a Kali behind him. This is actually be a good move on to take out that Nidalee. You have actually the root on that Karma and then Nidalee jumping right, Kali jumping in on that Nidalee, taking the kill. Now Orianna's going to use that ball to actually speed away, but Karma can go with it. We have an actually great ult match that barely missed that Orianna.
Where did Akali teleport to?
Akali actually teleported right when they started heading up. There was one of her minions. She actually teleported right behind him, right where she's at right now.
To a minion behind the line?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I was like, I didn't see a ward there, I didn't see anything, and somehow she knew that Caitlyn was around the corner because she used one of her ults to leap to minions and then follow with another ult to actually leap to Caitlyn, even though she didn't kill her. I was just kind of looking, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So, gonna find Brax and Miss Lucky Friday. No! What are you walking away? What are you walking? Oh, the Q does damage, but doesn't hold her in place. Got to get the auto attack down to stop that teleport. I think no ability stops a teleport now unless it's a stun ability. So yeah, Warwick walked around the corner, didn't see wolves, and walked away going, wait a second, that's not a wolf, that's Sejuani. Not back in time there to finish her off. Yeah, she was playing the wolves. She was like, I'm tired of being a boar. It's boring to be a boar. I'm gonna play a wolf instead. I'm just gonna sit here. If I howl, will it convince you? I think Warwick went over and he's looking for his kin to make sure his kin is there, you know, his wolf buddies, and it was like, oh, that's not there. Zero getting Dark Binding from Morgana though. Only down to about half health as Ice Huntress is trying to make her way out now. Several members of blue team collecting around. Warwick's like, you killed my friends. Zero just being destroyed by Ashe's damage.
Actually lost his own Warwick next. Well, actually dodged the Morgana stun and ulted onto Ashe, but Ashe still destroyed her right then and there due to the damage output.
I'm bouncing my mouse all around. Yeah, that was the Ashe ultimate, which is called, if I can actually pull my map up, Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Ashe missing thanks to a great ult from Warwick. I think he might have even predicted that one. However, still super low health, gonna go down regardless. But good to know, take note of that, is the fact that if you got an Ashe arrow flying to you, his ult is like a free teleport. And if you can find somebody to ult to, you're gonna be able to jump out of that Ashe ult. So, very, very good. Ice Huntress on top of a lot of these Dark Bindings. Not going to land it, though, onto the Nidalee as they continue to push in. Now 4-man strong in this bottom lane. Sejuani just around the corner decides, though, that her team's got this. She can instead push the mid lane. Zero once again being taken down to half health. Karma with massive damage on that empowered Q. Going to be taking out the Caitlyn. There's a hook from Blitzcrank. Not going to land, though, despite the spell shield on the Karma, just not in range. Blitzcrank hooks just a little bit short there. You went to Jared getting more damage just onto the Warwick, though. He doesn't care. He's Warwick. Should be raging all the time, though.
Exactly. Warwick can actually rage pretty quick, and then we actually have the Dark Binding from Morgana, making sure that Orianna is in place to be able to do that. Blitzcrank lands that hook on Akali, but she actually uses her... Is that the Dark Shroud, I believe? What's the...
Twilight Shroud, that's what it's called. Gonna go down.
That's what it is.
As the rest of the team now turns on to Ice Huntress, though, deciding to play a little bit safe and backing off. Ashe and Sejuani actually, I'm using actually use now, finishing off Dragon and backing off as they knew that they got a couple of kills in that bottom inhibitor, which is really, really good. And then on top of that, they got the Dragon as well. So making their way over to Baron. I don't know if they're going to start it or simply ward it up, but it looks like 4-man strong. They're pinging to start it. Blue team pinging, though, to say, hey, maybe we should get up here and stop it. Ashe does have double buff on her, so going to be very, very powerful.
We have Grack is whacked, just coming back in, and yeah, we're coming in, but are they going to sell? No, we have Sejuani that actually smited that right there. We have Lash that ends her ult on Warwick, and actually look at the damage output right there. But barely skips right there because of Orianna's shield. We actually have Karma doing a lot of damage to Blitzcrank and taking him out right there. We have Orianna pushing that shield on her, and Warwick landing his ult on Sejuani. Ashe with the high output damage takes him out right there. Ashe flashes and gets a double kill on Orianna. Let's see if they can keep this going. Really get a high output damage and get a triple kill on that Caitlyn.
So much damage from the Ashe coming in with the static Shiv passive, as well as all the damage on the Infinity Edge and Last Whisperer. A single shot from that Ashe with the static Shiv took Caitlyn down to half health. 2 shots following finished her off, especially when she's got the slow. Look at her attack speed, though. This might be game as Team Grack's Demise pushes in. Ashe decides to recall, though, saying, I don't want to end it just yet. Ice Huntress finishing off that top lane tower. Braxis and you went to Jared, though, deciding they do want to finish it off with the help of super minions. Gonna get this second tower, and I may back off here as Galetrix comes in here. There's the teleport, though, from Akali. Might be deciding to finish it off. A nice job from Karma, holding Blitzcrank in place long enough for Akali to finish off that kill. As Purple Team finishes off the game, Patchinard getting a great ultimate. Akali, though, going to take that kill as the rest of Purple Team finishes off the base. And that is game, giving it over to Grack's Demise. OGS make it, proving that his team is just a little bit stronger in the end. 36 kills to 9. I thought it was crazy, though, earlier in the game when they just finished getting Dragon, and Blue Team got like 3 kills off of the Purple Team, Grack's Demise, afterwards. And despite being 11 kills down, they were practically spot even in gold. Like, that proves, though, even if it looks like your team is down by a ton of kills, down 11, that's not a small number, they still were even in gold, which means that they would be able to straight up fight 5v5, and it would be a generally even fight.
Right. But you see at the end, look at the difference in gold. They were above by 20,000 gold, so that gave them a big advantage on that part right there.
Yeah, late game, though, Purple Team, Grack's Demise really came out strong. Ashe with so much damage, and then the continual spot-on Dark Bindings from Ice Huntress, as well as you went to Jared, finishing everybody off with just so much damage. So what would you say for MVPs between these two games?
MVPs for Team Grack is whack. I would have to give it to... I would have to give it to Grack, the system on that one. He had a lot of output and a lot of damage, and he went in and out of places that he should have been able to get out of, and saved himself a few times from the aggro from turrets by getting that heal off exactly at the right moment. Now on Team Grack's Demise, I would have to honestly give that one to Sejuani, due to the fact that she was all over the net, made sure she got those stuns and knockups on everybody so that Ashe can get those kills. So I would give it to Sejuani. For you, Jake, who would you give the MVP to?
I would definitely. Well, I guess I'll go back to that the losing team. Grack is whack. Um, Give it over to the Nidalee for number one for staying alive, matching Warwick on the least deaths, but also getting some kills in. She held and actually won the top lane very well as moved around the map. So Grack doing really well on his team, doing just great. And the biggest thing is that sometimes it's not about kills as much as it's staying alive. And Nidalee did that really well. It's rather easy on a Nidalee because she has that escape, but even so, you should know your champions well enough that you're not going to be dying a whole bunch. So good job from that Nidalee Grack system, playing it to live in that top lane. And then I would completely agree with you, Braximus MVP of Team Grack's Demise, coming out there with the Sejuani. 3 ganks within 5 minutes, twice in the bottom lane, getting his team 2 kills, once in the mid lane, burning the flash from the Orianna, and then immediately turned and went towards the top lane. Sejuani was not afraid of diving in hard, making some really big plays happen. It was so effective early game, getting her team on tilt towards winning the game, that was just huge and allowed the rest of the team to come in so strong. So I completely believe that Sejuani was a huge part in her team winning that game. So don't forget, if you guys are watching on YouTube, to check us out at www.twitch.tv/Jake Kelton, Jakelton. You can also find us in the description below. I am Jake Kelton, your host, and this is my main man, Mast, coming in.
All right, everybody.
Shoutcasting for you guys. It has been an awesome night. So much fun. Before we leave tonight, wanted to toss it over to the people in the chat. My main man's in the chat. Do you guys have any